Check 1 2 1 2. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, y'all. Welcome to our Tuesday afternoon episode, or is it evening? Welcome to our Tuesday evening episode, and I have a great jam-packed show ready for y'all. In lead stories, Trump now has the worst approval rating this century amongst independents. The Clintons get to testify in the Epstein Oversight Committee from home. Yo, we don't get to work from home, but they get to testify from home. Craziness. Candace Owens is back at it. She dropped a trailer for a documentary exposing Erica Kirk. Women's USA hockey team refuses Donald Trump's invite. Kamala Harris says she might run for 2028. We all know that you're running, Kamala. Stop the maybe, I don't know, just buy my book. And then also a former ICE agent exposes ICE training. In quick news, we're going to talk about a Hunter College professor. Savannah Guthrie has a new video. King and 50 Cent are still at it. New York officers get snowballed. Delroy Lindo reacts to BAFTA awards, and my new favorite Olympian, Eileen Gu. I have some videos about her. As always, right after quick news, we're going to come to the comment section because this show is all about having discussions with y'all. And then, as always, we're going to close out the show with lesson of the day. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, radio, your devices up. Come on. We made it through Monday and it's Tuesday and tomorrow's hump day. And I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Woo! Oh, hey, that was a pretty good intro, man. You know, kind of like slowed it down, took my time. All right. What up? We have gotten through Monday. Woo, Monday was a little rough for me, man. Like my intro on Monday was a little shaky. All right, we are back. Welcome everybody who is streaming live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, 2 streams, Twitch, Instagram, and Kick. Welcome everybody. And of course, welcome to everybody who's going to watch this taped after on podcast platforms and on YouTube. Welcome everybody. Quick programming note, we are streaming on YouTube. We've got 2 streams. There is a mobile stream with a little mobile emoji, a phone emoji, and a little M. If you're on mobile, stream on the mobile. If you're on home at TV, do not use the mobile one. Out louders, the people who want to talk together on a chat, that's the only time you should be using the TV one if you're on the mobile, all right? And I think that's about it for our programming notes. And I think that means we are ready to jump in today's show. I think that's it, right? Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, let's get on. Is there a fly in here? What's going on? All right, I'm in a good mood today. As long as I get through Monday, I'm gravy. All right, let's get into Donald Trump and his sinking approval rating. I think the reason why it's very important to start out with that is because we all know tonight is the State of the Union. I'm going to make sure we wrap up with the comments and everything by 8 o'clock because that's when the coverage will start. I think he actually starts State of the Union at 9. Trump says this is going to be the longest speech ever. And I think his longest to date was like 1 hour and 45 minutes. So it might be actually even longer than that. So buckle in. But before we get into tonight, Trump's approval ratings is one of the worst or the worst in the past century with independents. And we all know that independence is one of the most important sectors. We all know you're going to have MAGA and they're going to MAGA. Democrats are going to Democrat. Independents are where you win the swing states. And that's when you win the popular vote. We know Trump did that just a year ago, but what's up now? Take a listen to this.
Some important news right now. Heading into his first State of the Union address, Donald Trump's approval rating is in the gutter. The worst approval rating for a president this century when it comes to independents. New CNN polling has him underwater 27 points among independent voters. In comparison to President Obama and President Bush, every other president this century, it is at its worst for a president heading into their State of the Union. It's also the worst that he has had personally in either of his presidencies. He is underwater, and well, he's not happy about it. He spent this morning at the White House speaking about how He believes that he has silent support. He doesn't understand how approval ratings are so low, essentially. He doesn't understand why there's not more public support, I guess. Well, the truth is, after 1 year of the second Trump presidency, Americans are overwhelmingly do not support what the president has sold to them. And it comes on the heels of probably one of his most important speeches today, tomorrow night. Spread the word, follow for more.
That will be tonight, as you know, that was recorded yesterday. So, I mean, look, let's just call a spade, okay? And we have talked about this before. We're not going to talk about it too long because I want to wait till see what he says tonight. But just my 2 cents is Donald Trump had a huge push and a lot of momentum when he was campaigning. And I know a lot of Democrats or even independents, anti-MAGA people don't like when I say this, but he did a very good job of sticking to the economy and immigration, 2 really, really strong points. America and economy and immigration is the cornerstone of America. Kamala Harris tried to take some other angles, and I think their mistake of their angle was anti-Donald Trump. Well, that's not enough, and it wasn't enough. But although that Donald Trump has done stuff for the economy, and yes, the stock market, like he likes to say, is doing well. I think it's the Dow that went over 50,000, which is for the first time ever. Not every American is invested in the stock market. I think it's like 10 or 20%. So what about the everyday American that you said you were going to lower eggs, you're going to lower bacon, groceries, one word. Remember when he said, oh, it's one word, an old school word, groceries. Like, when's the last time that Donald Trump's going to the grocery store? Going to lower gas, going to lower cost of living, electricity, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, he hasn't done an amazing job at it. We have tariffs. The Supreme Court just last week took some of his tariffs away. He still has implemented after they took that away some other ones. But where's the $130 billion going? Is it going back to the American people? Because those are the ones that everybody now understands are the one who paid the tariff. Trump made a lot of people think it was China that's going to pay the tariffs. Now Americans are more savvy to know that, no, you put it on the country who is exporting, and the company who is importing has to pay if they make something from China. And the company in America that's importing, that's paying that tariff, might absorb 20 or 10 or 20%, but then the other 80% of the tariff they're going to hand over to the customer. So prices have gone up. I say all of that to say this is why, especially amongst independents, he is at an all-time low. And then there's also immigration, which if you watch the show daily, you don't need me to explain the disaster that has been immigration. Started out well, closing now by the border. You have no border crossings, but we had a full January in Minnesota. I went out there myself, boots on the ground, and I could tell you that is a big part of the reason why that he has lost independence. And as you all know, I'm an independent. We sit on the fence. A lot of you drag us. Oh, you're sitting on the fence. You know what the great thing about sitting on the fence is? You're up at an elevated level and you can see both sides. You can take information from here, information from there, and then draw a decision. And those 2 points, what I just mentioned, is enough for independents to say, we're good, brah. We're good on the tariffs. We're good on immigration. Sorry, your poll numbers are going to tank. Now, I bring all that up because tonight you're going to hear a very, very different tune than I just sang. But just keep in mind what I said, because here's a little difference. I'm speaking facts. And we all know that Donald Trump is not known to always stick to the facts. I think one of the greatest things about after Donald Trump's speeches is seeing these people fact check him. It's amazing. So that is it that I'm going to talk about with Trump today. We will, of course, follow up tomorrow and see how his State of the Union went. Okay. Let's move on now to Democrats. All right. Let's talk now the Clintons and the fact that they are going to be testifying at the Epstein Oversight Committee. And Hillary and both Bill has said, we want to testify. They think everybody should testify. They say they don't want to run from anything. And it was, if I'm not mistaken, Hillary that was like, I don't want to do it behind closed doors. I want to do it in public. I want it recorded. All of a sudden now they're recording from home. Listen to this. Sorry, listen to this.
Is this? The House Oversight Committee has just decided that they are going to allow Bill and Hillary Clinton to testify about Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell from home. We're not even allowed to work from home. And while the UK is locking up Prince Andrew, Hillary Clinton is telling the BBC that she didn't even know Ghislaine Maxwell that well when she had an aisle seat at Chelsea's wedding. And we all already know about Bill. He's been mentioned in the Epstein files more than pretty much anybody. Here's the deal. After avoiding subpoenas for a month, Hillary is set to testify from home on Thursday. And then the following day, Bill is set to testify from home on Friday. So if they're testifying at home, are they even going to be put under oath, or are we just taking their word for it? Why are we giving this special treatment to Bill and Hillary? Shouldn't they be treated like every other American, or does this just further prove that they're in the club? As always, let me know what you think.
So, like I said, when I played that BBC interview with Hillary Clinton talking about Epstein, well, I think I've maybe seen him at like some donor events, and Bill was on the plane just because of a donor. Stop it. Like we just showed you right there. Hillary was at Ghislaine was at the wedding. So just stop it. Very, very excited to see what happens with the Clintons testifying. One of the things that has stuck in the back of my head is last week when somebody asked Donald Trump about Bill testifying, he's like, I wish they would leave Bill alone. And we know Bill is very heavily in the Epstein files, and Bill is not the president of the United States. And while he does have his name to lose, can't be impeached. He cannot lose his presidency. So I think Trump is a little nervous at what Bill or Hillary might say. So make sure y'all tune in Thursday. We'll have a recap of what Hillary said or didn't say. And then we'll also have a recap of Bill on Friday. All right. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Going to be very interesting. And as you guys know, bring everybody down. I don't care if you are Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're independent. It doesn't matter to me who you are. You have any sort of involvement with people like Jeffrey Epstein, you got to go. All right. You got to go. Okay. Next we're going to go. Ooh, I'm excited about this. Candace Owens. Shout out to Candace Owens. Candace Owens has been a little quiet lately. We all know everything with her and Charlie Kirk and then Erica. There was a lot going on in December. They apparently said that they were going to meet. Erica Kirk said, yo, keep my name out your mouth. Not in so many words, probably even less words. She was like, stop. Remember her Fox interview? What's your one word you have for Candace Owens? Stop. That's it. Stop. Well, Candace Owens did not take too well to that because Candace Owens is doing an Erica Kirk documentary. And I won't play you the whole thing, but I will play you this. And let me tell you something. Candace Owens did not come to play.
That young man, I forgive him.
Take your time.
Erica Kirk has been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
My husband's like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's.
It's weird to say excited.
Describes her husband's funeral as the event of the century. Merch, hats.
We have 50,000 plus hat orders.
Nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out.
Everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
Her operation was in Constanta, the epicenter of Romania's trafficking scandal.
My aunt used to tell me, never do something that you don't want on the front page of a newspaper.
Bride of Charlie, like the bride of Chucky, bride of Charlie. And she ends it off with, my aunt used to tell me, don't do anything you don't want in front of a newspaper. She looks like she's diving deep into the Romania scandal. Her father having ties to Donald Trump, building money, pageants. everything that happened afterwards, the memorial. What is she doing throwing out merchandise after you lost your husband? The fireworks on stage, the fake crying over and over again. And look, I say this every time I talk about Candace Owens. Candace Owens is not my favorite person in the world. I do not like her views when it comes to women, especially Black women. However, I don't want Candace Owens as an enemy. No. I don't want Candace Owens doing a doc on me. Well, actually, I have nothing to hide. Like, I have a whole book that tells me my whole life. But if I was somebody like Erica Kirk, I wouldn't want her doing a documentary on me. This documentary looks amazing. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might be dropping tomorrow. So stay tuned. Of course, I will watch it and I will follow up and I will give you guys every single detail of it. I'm very, very excited about it. As always, shout out to Candace Owens. She's doing great work when it comes to this Charlie Kirk thing. And depending on the judge's outcome of what he's going to do with media or not, I will be down there, boots on the ground, in the courtroom covering that Charlie Kirk case. I think it has the potential to even be bigger than Diddy's case. This will be global. This will be worldwide. I am sure Candace Owens is going to want to be present too. Just imagine Candace being there. The podcasters. He has a podcast. The influencers. Candace, Erica, it is going to be mayhem outside of that courtroom. That's why they still haven't decided about media yet. But if I have to just stand outside and cover it, I will. It is going to be crazy. I think the next court appearance where we see evidence or what evidence will be admissible or something like that is around May. So make sure you guys stay tuned. This Charlie Kirk thing is far from over. Candace Owens is doing her due diligence to keep her friend's name in the headline, and she is taking no prisoners, not even his wife. That's a scary woman right there. You do not want to play. All right, let's go over to, oh gosh, I was excited about Candace. I'm even more excited about this. The U.S. women's hockey team has declined Donald Trump's invitation to the White House. Yesterday, I played a video for you guys of Kash Patel acting a fool inside the men's hockey locker room. Forget about that. Some people liked it. Some people didn't. I didn't feel like that was becoming of an FBI director. However, I think everybody uniformly did not like Donald Trump's comments when he said, hey, he was talking to the men's team. Hey, guys, I want you to come to the State of the Union. I want you to come to the White House. We have this. And then he goes, well, we're going to have to invite the women's hockey team. I mean, if I don't, they'll probably impeach me. Indirectly saying he doesn't really want them there. Okay. And then the men's team started laughing. No, the women's team got a hold of that. They declined the offer and they are dragging the men's team. I have a couple of videos together. I might be stopping in the middle to just give you my remarks, but listen to this. It is amazing. Take a listen.
Trump has to be infuriated because the U.S. gold medal winning women's hockey team just declined his invitation to his State of the Union address tomorrow night. Go women.
Y'all saw the U.S. men's team and the administration be like, hey, women's hockey. Look what happened. Flava Flav comes out and says the U.S. women's hockey team wants a real celebration and invite. I'll host them in Las Vegas. Do some nice dinners and shows and good times. I'm sure I can get a hotel and airline to help me out here and celebrate these women for real, for real. That's an ally right there. Oh, excuse me. Alaska Airlines joins the chat. Let's chat. Don't mind if I do, says Resorts World. Resorts World Las Vegas would be honored to host the entire USA hockey team. We'll provide the hotel rooms, meals, any amenity they're interested in, including an amazing spa treatment. Amika coming in saying, we're going to send over some products for the queens. StubHub slides into the DMs with, we've got the tickets to Vegas shows covered. And they've even got a glam squad. Now, Mr. Flav, I would love to know what airlines and hotels support this endeavor and support our women's hockey team, because I have a lot of travel coming up this year and I want to support the brands who support us. Thank you for that, man. I hope the men's hockey team has a great.
Shout out to Flava Flav. Hold on. So like I said, I wanted to stop it for 1 second. Now, this next video that I'm going to play for you guys is a breakdown of the history of the women's hockey team, the medals, and why the men should have had the women's back and why they should be pretty much just embarrassed for allowing Donald Trump to do that. Listen very closely, please.
I want to support the brands who support us.
And by the way, yes, I want to support the brands too. Flavor Flav, by the way, shout out to Flavor Flav for doing this. Shout out to all the brands that are joining in. Let me know. Y'all know me. I'm always down to support all women's team, WNBA, golf, tennis, everything. Shout out to women's hockey. I'll find what they are, and I will let you guys know maybe tomorrow. Now listen to the history of women's hockey. Take a listen.
Thank you for that, man.
I hope the men's hockey team has a great time at the White House.
Hi, this message is for the U.S. men's hockey team from a hockey fan married to a lifelong player raising a son in travel hockey. No one is surprised that FBI Director Kash Patel showed up in your locker room after your big win. Congratulations, by the way. And of course, no one is surprised that Donald Trump called you and made a joke at the expense of the gold medal winning U.S. women's hockey team. Are we sad that those two represent the type of men leading our country? Ew, of course. But are we surprised by their behavior? Of course not. Because we already knew exactly what kind of men they are. But we're disappointed in you. You chose to let Kash Patel in and chugged a bunch of beers with him instead of distancing yourself. You took the president's phone call and then laughed about the joke about inviting the women. The women, as in the most dominant program in U.S. hockey history. Yeah, the U.S. women have won 3 gold medals, and so have you. In fact, they've medaled in every single Olympics since women's hockey was introduced in 1998. So yeah, they have as many gold medals as you do, but they've actually done it in a quarter of the time. So historically, they're the most consistent and dominant program of the two. And yet somehow, you get the majority of the headlines. You get the spotlight and the cultural relevance and the lucrative brand deals. Imagine joking about the team that set the standard. Is that insecurity? Or are you just so used to centering yourselves you didn't even clock it? Now I'm speaking directly to Jack and Quinn Hughes. Your mother is Ellen Weinberg Hughes. As you know, she's a silver medalist and also a former U.S. women's national team hockey player. Presumably, she's a woman who's been fighting gender inequity her entire life. She's also a woman who coached the very U.S. women's national hockey program that you laughed at. Your own mother. How many of you have mothers, daughters? Do you know that there are little girls in the stands at every game wearing your name on their jerseys? Because that's who you're laughing at. You know, we don't call it men's hockey. We just call it hockey. And that's because women had to fight to even be allowed in the room that you inherited. Y'all had a moment to elevate the culture, to show the next generation, including my son, that hockey can be better than the stereotype. Instead, you co-signed that punchline. Do better, because the women already did.
Wow. Wow. Really disrespectful of the men to laugh after Donald Trump said that. But more importantly, very disrespectful for the president of the United States of America to make that kind of joke in a men's locker room. I always say this, just looking at things from a 10,000 foot level. At the end of the day, the president is supposed to be the president for the American people, not for MAGA, not for men, not for the people. And that was really horrible, what he said, if you ask me, in my opinion. There's some people out there that are saying, oh, it was just a joke, or it was this, or it was just that. With his past, with his convictions, with his accusations, with him being in the Epstein files, like, how much more do you need to hear before you realize that comment was not a joke, that he doesn't really want to invite the women's hockey team? And how do the MAGA women feel about that? How do Republican women feel about that? This is what baffles me. Like, I don't care if you like Donald Trump. If you do whatever, who you want to vote for, it's fine. But I don't understand how he could say something about you that affects you, and you know it affects you, it's directly to you, but you still like, yeah, it's still my guy, because, the economy, amazing. That is something I can't get down with. But y'all know me, I respect everybody. Now, talking about females in in high places and politics, let's move over to Kamala Harris. She was saying out on a podcast saying that she might be returning. Stop it, Kamala. We all know you're coming back and you want to run for presidency. Stop it. Take a listen.
Will you run again?
I haven't decided.
You're still thinking about it?
I might.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying. That's what I closed the book and I'm like, oh, she wants to. She's just thinking about it. If that was my impression. I don't know if that's what you intended, but that was my impression.
No, the book is about a specific period in time. There was no agenda beyond what we've discussed already, which is just sharing with people. the reality of the experience, and hopefully allowing people to see something of themselves.
All right, that was cut short. Sorry about that. Look, I like Kamala Harris. I don't. I was not impressed by the rollout for her book. I felt like it was her time to lay down the gauntlet. I feel like she did a little bit when it came to Joe Biden, but laying down the gauntlet with Joe Biden was a little bit too late. She should have done that on The View when they asked her what she would do different from Joe Biden. She had her opportunity, but now when she wants to sell her book, that's when she wants to throw down on Joe. I thought that was, I don't know who on her team thought that that was what people wanted to hear. And if anybody did want to hear that, it was way too late. We all know that she's going to run. She had so much money put behind her. I think $120 billion. She is probably, even if not necessarily the most popular, but the most known for name recognition that would run. If you took out the Jasmine Crockett's, the maybe Hakeem Jeffries, the Philadelphia governor, I can't remember his name. The guy that talks like Obama. Can't remember. The one that she was supposed to make her VP. Anyways, from name recognition alone, it'll be good for her and a good opportunity. I personally don't think that it would be smart for her to run. Personally, I think that we need fresh blood. I think we need a new person, a person that doesn't have a history that people don't like, apparently like this or whatever. You need a new person, like how when Barack Obama came on the scene, he wasn't a vice president or this or whatever. You need a new, fresh person that, maybe is of course like a senator or a governor, but he or she is not necessarily on the global stage, so that he or her can have a fresh start. I think that fresh start, without having like the whole world know their skeletons in her closet, like Hillary Clinton, she was, it's tough for her when you're a Clinton. But even with that, I think that you're going to need somebody, not saying a Jasmine Crockett, but you're going to need somebody like a Jasmine Crockett. You're going to need somebody who is not afraid to say what is on his or her mind, ready to throw down, ready to talk directly to people and not over people's heads and not over political terms. You need an everyday person that is ready to give it to the American people like it is. And I just don't think, from what we have seen from Kamala Harris, I just don't think that she has that in her, unless she, has it and she's going to unleash it and she was afraid to do it last time. I just don't think she'll have what it takes in this new political climate, my opinion. All right, let's go over to an ICE agent that is exposing ICE training. Listen to this shocking.
Swore an oath to uphold the Constitution when I joined ICE on August 1st, 2021, as an assistant chief counsel. I followed that oath for 4.5 years, working side by side with ICE officers. And I followed it when I resigned on February 13th, 2026, a little over a week ago, so that I could speak to you today. I am here because I am duty-bound to report the legally required training program at the ICE Academy is deficient, defective, and broken. 5 months ago, I was asked to teach the law to new cadets at the ICE Academy in Glencoe, Georgia, where ICE is training its new, inexperienced recruits. I volunteered, those without law enforcement training, I volunteered to take on this assignment based on my experience in law enforcement oversight, including at the state and local level prior to my work with ICE. On my first day, I received secretive orders to teach new cadets to violate the Constitution by entering homes without a judicial warrant. For the last 5 months, I watched ICE dismantle the training program, cutting 240 hours of vital classes from a 584-hour program. Classes that teach the Constitution, our legal system, firearms training, the use of force, lawful arrests, proper detention, and the limits of officers' authority. For example, they ceased all of the legal instructions regarding use of force. This means that cadets are not taught what it means to be objectively reasonable, the very standard which the law requires them to meet when deciding whether or not to use deadly force. Our jobs as instructors are to teach them so well that they can make split-second decisions about what they can and cannot do in life or death situations. Yet, in the name of churning out an endless stream of officers, DHS leadership has dismantled the academic and practical tests that we need to know if cadets can safely and lawfully perform their job. All to satisfy an administration demanding they train thousands of new officers before the end of the year. DHS told the public that new cadets receive all the training they need to perform their duties, that no critical material or standards have been cut. This is a lie.
That is, like, if you really listen to what he says, that was shocking. And for me, the two standouts are teaching new ICE officers to not obey the Constitution. But for me, all of it was bad, but the cadets that are going out into the field with that limited training, who are giving themselves up for the cause, for the administration, are not prepared. It's dangerous for the public, but it's actually even more dangerous for them because they don't know what the heck they're doing. That alone should shock you thinking about the new ICE officers. Okay, that is it when it comes to lead stories. We're going to jump into quick news. I got a lot going on in quick news, so do not leave. Make sure you stay around. We have a Hunter College professor caught on a Zoom with a racist rant. Savannah Guthrie puts out a new heartbreaking video to her mother's kidnapper, Nancy. They are now offering $1 million. It went from 50 to 100 to now $1 million. Well, actually, it's still 100,000. That's the FBI. This $1 million is a family offer. We're going to touch very, very quickly because I'm tired of talking about it. 50 Cent still beefing with King. New York officers get snowballed. It's crazy what's going on in New York. Delroy Lindo reacts to BAFT's award. You guys remember happened. The gentleman, John with Tourette's, yelled out the N-word. Delroy is breaking his silence. And then I have a video for you, or a couple of videos, from my new favorite Olympic athlete, Eileen Gu. She is like the coolest 22-year-old ever on the planet, all right? So let's go over to quick news right now. All right, before we get into quick news, I just want to remind y'all that, yes, we do lives every weekday at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, but we are also recording shows in the daytime, kind of like a midday lunchtime show, and it's quick entertainment news. It is on podcast platforms and also on our YouTube page. You'll find this, what we're recording right now, in the live section. You'll find quick entertainment news in the video section on YouTube. Today, we covered a lot of important topics. J. Cole accused of Epstein-like behavior. You guys are going to want to check that out. We cover it a little bit more in depth than what we're going to do today. 50 Cent and King are still going at it. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao Part 2. They are going to be on Netflix in September. Cardi B talks about her tour and its success. Vince McMahon's car crash footage comes out, and people are accused him of being privileged. Lindsey Vonn shares her story of almost losing her leg, another amazing Olympian. Kodak Black needs to be propped up on stage to perform. Lindsay McGuire's star passes away after a bout with bipolar. And Jaden Alexis comments on Blueface having a new baby. Mariah the Scientist clapped back at her haters of her dance move. And Little Kim loses it on her fans. You're not going to want to miss that. All right, make sure you check it out. All right, now let's get into this afternoon's quick story. Look at this Zoom call from this Hunter College professor saying stuff about Black people And when she starts saying it, it's a little hard to see, but really try to focus on the people on the Zoom call and see their facial expressions. It's crazy. Take a look.
On Fridays, he delivers lessons and helps us fit those skills into our lessons.
Schools that like they're
They're
too dumb to know they're in a bad school.
Independent in our class.
I mean, apparently Martin Luther King said it. Like, if you train a Black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore. They just
Allison Friedman, what you're saying is absolutely hearable here. You've got to stop.
Look at the kids' face. Look at their faces. Look at their faces. If you train a Black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore. Look at the kids' faces.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
Crazy. I haven't heard what has happened to the professor. I'm sure she's going to be fired, but we'll follow up on that story. Now let's move over to the new heartbreaking video from Savannah Guthrie. It is a 4-minute video. I'm going to play the first 2 minutes for you. But this is the first time you're going to hear Savannah, and on behalf of her family, admit that they have come to the realization that it could be possible that she's no longer here. They're not giving up, but they're like, okay, it's possible. And she's saying, even if she is here or not here, we still want to know and we want her back. And that is why they're offering the family $1 million reward. Take a listen to this very sad video.
Hi there. I'm coming on to say it is day 24 since our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed. And every hour and minute and second and every long night has been agony since then of worrying about her and fearing for her and aching for her. And most of all, just missing her. Missing her. We know that millions of you have been praying. So many people have been praying of every faith and no faith at all, praying for her return. And we feel those prayers. Please keep praying without ceasing. We still believe. We still believe in a miracle. We still believe that she can come home. Hope against hope. As my sister says, we are blowing on the embers of hope. We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves and is dancing in heaven with her mom and her dad and with her beloved brother Pierce and with our daddy. And if this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery. All of the information about this reward and the details is in the caption below. You can call the 1-800-TIP line. You can be anonymous if you want. Someone out there knows something that can bring her home. Somebody knows. We are begging you to please come forward now. We also know that we are not alone in our loss. We know there are millions of families that have suffered with this kind of uncertainty. And for that reason today, we also are donating $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
I really love that part that she and her family are donating $500,000 to a missing organization. And the reason why is from the beginning of this, I have obviously like felt so bad for her and her family. But like you or some of you, I have always said there are a lot of missing people in America. And I still, even till today, don't understand how Nancy Guthrie had the weight of every American office. Like the FBI, the president of the United States was getting called every day and he was making statements. If Nancy is not brought back, the person who's going to get the unaliving penalty, you have the full weight of the FBI. Like, she's not a government official. She was, you know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not saying I don't feel bad for them or whatever, but there's other Americans that have gone missing. So I love the fact that the Guthrie family is acknowledging that and putting some money towards other families that are going through a similar thing. I thought that was smart of them. Still very, very, very sad that after 24 days, still can't find their mom. Okay, let's go over now to 50 Cent and King. It will take me 1 minute. I think the beef is done. King put this out yesterday. King Harris trolls 50 Cent for having his son sit on his lap. He says, "You think you raising a man, having him sit on your lap?" Like, after this came out, 50, it seems as if kind of, I think, realized, like, why am I beefing with this little 19, 21-year-old kid? Like, this is silly. You know what I mean? Like, 50 Cent is almost 50, or if not 50 already. And while he doesn't mind beefing with Jim Jones or Fab or whoever, or even T.I., I think it's a smart move that he's kind of like moved on a little bit. Like, why am I beefing with this, 21-year-old kid? But obviously King is going to continue, but unless anything major happens, we're not going to continue covering it. So shout out to 50 and King. It was fun for 48 hours, but I agree with 50. You should move on, bro. You don't need to be doing this. Now let's move on to this hilarious video. Truth be told, I'm not sure of the, what's behind this. We all know that there's a severe snowstorm in the East Coast, in New York. I told you guys, I think yesterday, where Manhattan people are skiing. It's just crazy. But I came across this video of New Yorkers throwing snowballs at police officers. And I just caught this late, so I don't know the story behind it. If I'm like just putting two together, I think people are just off of work, out of school, and the police were trying to just be like, "Hey, we want some order." And they're like, "Yo, what are you talking about? Get out of here." And kind of just overcame the police. But look how wild they are being. It's crazy. Take a look. Like, what are they doing, and why are these officers letting them get away with that? Just complete foolery. All right, shout out to New York. All right, let's move on to the BAFTA awards. Delroy Lindo reacts to BAFTA slur incident. We did what we had to do, but I wish somebody spoke to us afterwards. So we all know, especially you guys watch the show daily, over the weekend, I think it was on Sunday, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy was up on stage. Somebody was in the arena that has Tourette's, yelled out the N-word, okay? We discussed it at length if it was okay or not. Speaking to Vanity Fair at Warner Brothers after party, the 73-year-old actor Delroy Lindo, 73-year-old actor shared that neither he nor Michael B. Jordan received any outreach from BAFTA afterwards. He explained that he and Jordan did what they had to do, pushed through the presentation with professionalism, but he admitted he wished somebody from BAFTA spoke to them afterwards. Now, as you guys know, who watch this show, we let y'all know that BAFTA, in their apology letter, admitted that they could have edited that N-word out. They edited stuff about Palestine. They edited a bunch of stuff that they didn't want in the show. Why did they leave that in there? And then now we find out that they didn't send somebody to apologize and say, yo, we're really sorry that that happened. My whole point was, yes, somebody has a disability. You want them to be inclusive. Fine, keep them in the room, but keep them in the back of the room. They have Tourette's. They could say anything at any time, especially the version, I don't remember the name, it starts with the C, where 15 or 20% of people that have Tourette's have this, that they could say a slur like that. You don't want to keep them near two black men who are presenting. Put them in the back of the room. But to find out now that the handling of it, the seating of it, and not even an apology to Michael B. Jordan and Delroy, you know that clearly they don't care. So that apology and the, oh, maybe we should edit it out makes no sense. You didn't even send them an email afterwards to say sorry? That's unacceptable for me. I hope everybody, boycotts and does not go to the BAFTAs next year. All right, let's close out with something I'm very, very excited about. I'm late to the party, I'll admit. This is a video of a Olympic athlete named Eileen Gu. Now, I have a couple of videos together, so I'll break it down. But this first person is going to explain to you who Eileen Gu is and why she's so amazing. It's literally like 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes. This girl has done more at 22 years old than most people do in their entire lifetime. And then we're going to play a video from a reporter that asked her a question, which is shocking. And then there's another shocking question. Pay attention to how poised and how amazing she is at just 22 years old. Take a listen.
When I was late is that I just found out that my grandma...
Sorry. That's actually lesson of the day. My bad. Listen to this.
Who is not your average Olympian. Crazy sentence considering Olympians are incredible, but I actually do not understand how you can be a high-class global model, go to Stanford for an insane degree, be one of the highest paid female athletes for not 1, not 2, but 4 years in a row. All of this combined with being at the top of 3 different freestyle skiing events and be defending Olympic medals in all of them. Mind you, she is only 22. Born and raised in the States, Eileen competes in slopestyle, halfpipe, and big air, had success since super young, but really gained traction by low-key causing some controversy, as in 2019 she announced that she'd be competing for China instead of the States, and her statement is low-key giving Greta, saying, through skiing I hope to unite people, promote common understanding, create communication, and form friendships between nations. Now, why was this controversial? Great question. On one hand, Americans thought that this 16-year-old was being a traitor, and on the other, China doesn't recognize dual citizenship, so it was messy on both sides. That said, this was the absolute best move for Eileen's career, as she skyrocketed after this. As a result of training for Beijing, Eileen finished high school early, got a 1580 on her SAT, applied to Stanford in quantum physics, got in, and deferred it till afterward. She made her pro debut in 2021, immediately winning gold medal. However, at this point, Eileen realized that being incredibly marketable plus having a home Olympics definitely equals a bag, thus signing with IMG and immediately becoming a global icon. Almost off rip, campaigns with Louis Vuitton. This is insane. She became a global ambassador for Tiffany & Co. Really got into modeling and doing covers, which more on this later. But y'all, she is a natural. By the time the Olympics came, she was basically the face of them in China. Yet with this, the pressure was really mounting for her to do well, and some people were even questioning if she was spending enough time focusing on skiing. Imagine just casually looking this cool at the Olympics. Even better, imagine absolutely gagging everyone, winning 2 golds and a silver, becoming the youngest free ski Olympic champion and the first free skier to win 3 medals at a single Olympics. This was actually so cool, and Eileen just got bigger. More covers, more insane shoot. This isn't an athlete modeling. However, she's a model who happens to be an athlete. Double ESPYs in 2022. Time's most influential people. A founding member of Victoria's Secret Collective. Met Gala after Met Gala after Met Gala. This woman is fully walking for Louis Vuitton and looking absolutely amazing. Obviously, we have more partnerships like IWC watches and Porsche, of course. We obviously can't forget that during this time, Eileen was studying quantum physics at Stanford, saying, I really like to learn and stretch my mind. That's what I love about quantum physics. It's very conceptual and it makes you question the nature of reality. That's very fascinating to me because in my own way, when I'm skiing, I guess I'm kind of bending the laws of what's possible in the first place. Forgot to mention that during her freshman year, she was a debutante in Paris, and in 2024, she was taking tutorials at Oxford in creative nonfiction writing so she could write her very own memoir one day. What makes this even more impressive is while juggling everything, Eileen has not dipped in form as she is still breaking records and a favorite heading into Milan. She'll be gunning for the golden slope style in order to complete her collection, but all of this brings me back to the fact that I do not understand how Eileen is able to excel in literally every single thing she does. Am I a bit envious? Absolutely, but I will be watching her every step of the way.
Also, do you see these as 2 silvers gained or 2 golds lost?
I'm the most decorated female free skier in history. I think that's an answer in and of itself. How do I say this? Winning a medal at the Olympics is a life-changing experience for every athlete. Doing it 5 times is exponentially harder because every medal is equally hard for me, but everybody else's expectations rise, right? And so the 2 medals lost situation, to be quite frank with you, I think is kind of a ridiculous perspective to take. I'm showcasing my best skiing. I'm doing things that quite literally have never been done before. And so I think that is more than good enough.
This isn't supposed to be a rude question, but do you think before you speak? Because you answer questions so quickly and so comprehensively, whether it's about geopolitics or your sport or aerodynamics. Like, can you take us into your brain?
Thank you, Charlotte. That's very kind. Oh, man. Do I think? I think overall, I'm just a pensive person. Like, I'm an introspective young woman. Like, I spend a lot of time in my head, and it's nice to be. I journal a lot. I break down all of my thought processes. I think I apply a very analytical lens to my own thinking, and I kind of modify it because it's so interesting. You can control what you think. Like, you can control how you think, and therefore you can control who you are. And especially as a young person, like I'm 22, so with neuroplasticity on my side, I can literally become exactly who I want to be. How cool is that? Like, how empowering is that, right? And so the fact is, I get to become every day the kind of person that me at age 8 would revere. Like, I would be obsessed with me today. Are you kidding? I would love me. And I think that's the biggest flex of all time, that you can have like little younger you be proud of you today. And so I guess for me, it's like, yes, I spend a lot of time in my own head. Yes, I think a lot, but it's not really like in an egotistical kind of way. It's in like a tinkering, like a scientist kind of way. I'm always like trying to modify. I'm trying to think, how can I be better? How can I approach my own brain the way that I approach my craft of free skiing, so that I can be better tomorrow than I was today?
Wow. Wow. What? 22. 22. I'm going to leave it at that. Stay tuned for Lesson of the Day. I have another clip from her of something that she said to her grandmother that I thought was even more amazing than anything I just played for you. Okay. Let's go over to, whoa, the comment section is going crazy right now. Let's go over to the comments. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go over to Instagram comments first. Then I'm going to come over to these comments because I always do Instagram comments at the end, and then those people are gone. So I'm coming over to the comment section now. All right. Welcome to the Trend Out Loud comment. Well, actually, they're technically y'all's comments. All right, let me jump over to Instagram really quick. All right. Who did anybody give any comments today? Oh, they're okay. Somebody Gordon John said, love your show and you are the best. Well, thank you very, very much. Anything else over here? Okay, perfect. We didn't miss any other Instagram comments. All right, let's go over to the YouTube, Twitch, etc. comments. What up, everybody? Oh, wait, hold on a second here. Hold on. Before we get to the comment section, y'all know I have a very, very important question to ask y'all. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Hold up. Let me answer that question for y'all. Yes, they are. All three of them. If you're not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform. Go to my sponsor below, aura.com/Trend Out Loud to get your free 14-day trial to see if any of your data has already been exposed. What does this mean? Click this link below. You sign up absolutely for free. Aura can show you if your social security number, any of your personal information, your credit card, your address have ever leaked. You click a button and it deletes forever. It is gone. If you want, after, you could sign up for a plan that helps protect you for any of your new information or when you're searching online. But it's really cool to see if any of your information has leaked. All right. So I'm going to put up the QR code here right now. You could take your phone out after the show. And also there is the link below. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. If you're ever wondering how scammers get your phone number or why your inbox is filled with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers, and they sell your data, and they do it without your consent, and they make billions of dollars selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. That is why I recommend today's sponsor, Aura, to my family, friends, and out louders. Aura takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing your information off of these sites and keeping it off. Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. With Aura, you get alerts if any of your personal information is ever found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for your credit card or banking information, a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager. They also have US-based round-the-clock customer service. Also, in the event that anything should ever go wrong, Aura also offers a $5 million identity theft insurance protection package. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking your front door and keeping your back door open. All right. Make sure you aren't playing around. You want to be safe when you're on the internet. Here is the QR code again. Also, do not forget to sign up for the Out Loud membership. You'll see a join button or a membership tab above me. All right. Let me come back here to my favorite section. What up, Crystal? Happy Tuesday, Trent, my fellow Trent Angels and Out Louders. What up? Mystery streaming from UK. What up? If Young Metro, oh my gosh. Not gonna read this. Okay, Paul said, okay, we're not reading this. We always have like bots like in the beginning. Crazy Gamer says, Trent, what's good? Let's go. Hump Day. Oh no, this is a good one. DJ Antasha Out Louders from North Carolina. Is it Hump Day? Today's Tuesday. Hump Day is tomorrow, but thank you very much for that comment. Bet he rambles and says nothing of substance. Well, thank you very much, Robinette. Paul, we're not going to read that. All right, I'm going to edit some stuff here. Hey, Kim finally made it back. Kim was on Instagram yesterday. Now you're back over here. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Crazy. Hope all is well with everyone. I think that was just for the last person that commented. Out Louder said, what up? Somebody said, stop the cap. Biden and Kamala took that crown. Tara is in the building. Tara says, hello, Trent, and hello, everybody. Crystal saying hello back to Kim. She made it to the chat today. Michelle says, why couldn't they see that? I'm not sure what. All right, Kim is saying hi to some people. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna stick like glue, just like Sean Paul. Crystal said, hey, Trent. Hello, Crystal. Somebody says, must be liberals crying again. 93% stock owned by 10% of Americans. Thank you, Ziggy. That's the kind of stat I was looking for. Black Girl Law says, hello, Crystal, and everybody in the Out Louders. Hump Day is here. It's not Hump Day yet, but soon. BB said, get a job. Most employers provide 401ks. Somebody says, it's funny you don't complain when they sky high for Biden. Okay. Somebody says, you weren't saying ish when Biden and them were given away. Okay, we can't do swear words and F words and stuff. Sorry. Trent, stop the cap. Biden and Kamala took the crown, both in the negative. I don't know what that means. Somebody else says none of the. Okay, we can't do swear words here. This is YouTube. Sorry. What the heck were they looking at? I don't know what you're referring to. Jeremy says you can't have negative inflation or you will trigger a depression. Derek is back in the building. What up, Derek? You're not the independent that voted for Trump. Not sure what that means either. Chris says, oh my gosh, I have a grade school friend with the same exact name. That's cool. Yes, I'm a centrist too. Hey, Tara, Black Girl Lost and Dara from Kim. Trump is the real. No, I'm not going to read that. Hey, Crystal said hi to Derek, our favorite Republican. Derek hasn't answered what he is, which is totally respectable, but we're not too sure if he's Republican or just has a view or exactly what. Don't know what this person's name is. USA is the richest, poorest country in the world. 36 to 38 million that live in poverty. America Flag says, talk about the AI digital something. That's what they don't want us to talk about. Okay, you guys are just saying hello to each other. Saying hello. What is this? Trump is also in the Epstein files. He's not all that innocent, said Linda. La Shay says, hello, out louders. What up? Liam says, maybe it's time to tell the truth. All right. La Shay. All right, here's a good one. Derek says, Trent, you're obsessing over the Epstein files. That's not even funny. Trump is the reason why Epstein was busted. Derek, we already talked about this last time, my brother. Don't talk to me about the guy who snitched. You're saying the guy who snitched on Epstein is innocent? More times than not, when two or more people are doing something, the one that snitches is the low down dirty one that did more, and he knows that he's about to get life, so he snitches on people, makes a deal so that he is not involved. So don't tell me that Trump was one who talked about Epstein. Why did he talk about him? Why? Because he's such a great guy? Stop it, man. Come on. Because he snitched, that means he's not in the files. La Shay said, yes, they all gotta go. Derek says, you hated Candace until she was saying things you found convenient. I followed Candace when nobody liked her, and she is a disgrace. What? I followed Candace when nobody liked her, and she is a disgrace. I think you meant when people thought she was a disgrace. No, Derek. Y'all know that I keep it real, so don't try to play with me like that, Derek. I have said from the beginning, and I even said today, I said Candace is not my favorite person. I really do not like her views and stands on women, and especially her stands on Black women. And I say that every time I talk about her. So it doesn't mean that Candace is my favorite person. It doesn't mean that I have nothing bad to say about Candace Owens. But because of the person I am, I always give somebody credit, even if I disagree with them. Like how I disagree with views that Charlie Kirk had, just like how I disagree with Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or Donald Trump. But if any of those people do say something I do agree with, I also say it because that's the type of person I am. So I could not agree with Candace Owens, but I could still applaud her for what she's doing for her friend, Charlie Kirk. Don't play with me, Derek. You know better than that. Happy Tuesday to everybody. How was your day? I hope everybody was good. Hey, I didn't see Emma in here. Hey, sorry I passed you, Emma. Happy Tuesday out loud, family. I always say Emma, Professor. Sorry, it was Professor, and it's M-E, but we'll call you the Professor. Let's see here. She is a grifter off a widow, tears and something cries. What a shame and a fall from grace. Okay, so you don't like Candace Owens anymore. Oh, you don't let. Oh, yes, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. The MAGA people and the Republicans don't like Candace anymore because she's talking about MAGA, talking about Turning Point, and talking about Erica. Now I understand why you're saying she's a fall from grace. Okay. All right, Crystal saying hi to everybody. Then she said, widow fake tears, laugh out loud, saying prayers and fireworks. This is from Hello something. Let's see. Derek says it's not positioned to judge anyone's way of grief. Yeah, but throwing out merchandise and being like, yeah, we made $140 million off of merch. I feel like that is okay to get called out. Just my opinion. Do you realize how horrible it must feel watching her husband on national TV? Yes, but she stepped up, became the CEO, and her husband that was always saying that women should stay at home and women should do this and women should do that. Looks like his woman doesn't mind being out there and being the CEO, but hey. Joyce said, hello, Trend, and everybody watching from Shawtown, Illinois. What up, what up, what up, what up? There is just something off about her from Crystal. Totally agree. The professor is saying hi back to Crystal. Great once everybody is out. Okay. The Northwest is having a blizzard. Yikes. That is from the professor. Sorry, the Northeast. How was your day, Emma? All right, you guys are talking. Let me see. This is a little lengthy comment here. Hey, homie, I checked your video. Seem like you're okay. This is a bot. All right, you guys are talking about work. Somebody said, hey, huh? What is this? Hold on, I got to make sure before I put this up. Hey, Dark, I'm out here throwing 80-yard in the NFL like a varsity quarterback while you're reading the playbook. What is that? There's some weird people in the chat today. Joyce says disrespectful to all women. Oh, you're talking about, this is probably about the hockey. Derek says you're definitely not a patriotic U.S. citizen. You would have said this if Obama and Kamala were president. Derek, man, I thought we were on good terms, bro. What's wrong with you today? You're hot. Let's. Oh my gosh. Somebody told me to be quiet. Derek says it's sad to see Americans wishing for Americans to fail because they don't support their president. It's really sickening. Derek, I don't know what you're talking about today, man. Emily said, hey, Trent, say hi to your mom. Hi, mom. You know, she's always watching. Hammer says Trump is fighting for women. Okay. Emily said hello to everybody. Hey, Shannon with the super chat. What up, what up, what up? We always work best when there is a balance. We had that in the 90s, not too far left or too right. Somebody said something not nice about women. Kim said, let's go. Kim said, exactly. Kevin said, Trump is still the man. Lasheshe, said yes. Somebody says, Lash Patel comes from the... okay, we're not going to say that. Crystal said, wow, she told the men. Hammer says, Trump is a shame for America. Lasheshe says, I'm truly baffled. Okay. What's wrong with these women? Okay, we're not going to say any women slander here on the show. If I could stay. No, nope. Hey, Mars is in the building. What up, Mars? Hey, Trent, all the T Angels and Out Louders. What up? Mars, there are some good things about Trump and stuff in here. You might want to rewind because I know how you like to get down. And Derek is on one today. I need you to handle Derek in the comment section. Lasheshe said she's better than Trump on her worst day. Lasheshe said hi to Mars. Mars says we need to stop saying Trump created a good economy. It's horrible and people are struggling. Who said that Trump created a good economy? I said Trump will say that he created a good economy. However, just because the stock market, like somebody just said, 93%, what was the stat you said? 10% of Americans own 93% of the stock market. And I never said Trump created a good economy. Cornay says, I like her laugh. Like if I want to get a drink and do yoga with Wine Mom, she'd be cool. But President, nah. Oh, you're talking about Kamala. Not if you want her to run the country. I wouldn't expect nothing different from Donald Trump, says Kim. She is not the one for the party at all. That's Anna. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Trump couldn't talk over a seventh grader's head. That's really funny. Tiffany says Jasmine Crockett. Derek says, not about the person. It's more about their policies. The Dems don't have policies that work for people. I can respect that. That's pushing Gavin Newsom too. Another person just waved. I agree with you, Trent. A new president for the U.S. Yes. You don't need somebody who was a VP, somebody this, somebody that. You need fresh blood, fresh mind, fresh ideas. Yep, you said it. Jasmine Crockett. I pray she runs. I just, it's not exactly what I said, but fine. Gavin Newsom is 10 times better than Trump. That's from Dee. Joseph says about time you discover your mind and morality. Derek says Trump is literally save something from drowning in a sea, and the left will say Trump is against feeding the sharks to Walt. Okay, gosh, Derek, bro. The way how you profess for Donald Trump is crazy. Oh, please, California has fallen. They can't even put out their own fires. Lachey said, wow. That's why they are implicated. That's from Lachey. ICE is in the business of, okay, I'm not going to read that. I think that's their train to nowhere that costs billions of dollars. Somebody says Trump is a convicted R-word. Trent, your show is starting to feel like a bunch of MSNBC. You hang out around too many liberal heads. Really? Because I don't hang out around nobody. And I told you I watch Fox and I watch CNN. But thank you for your comment, Derek. Kim says, y'all be sure to hit that like button and support the show. Thank you, Kim. Emma says, Democrats repeat the Constitution of the United States of America. Republicans doesn't. Come on, Derek. You know Trump would never do anything that would sacrifice himself in a way for anybody. That's funny. Another person says she cannot do Newsom. I think it's Corny, if I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry. Frank said, yeah, he's been doing the D-man's work for years and he doesn't want to stop. Newsom is a thief. I can barely handle Brandon Johnson. Here's another one. Derek says Trump literally took for the country. Crystal, what are we here to talk about? Oh my gosh, give me a break. Trump will sacrifice the American people to save his own. ASS from Kim. Mars says, I'm not shocked to hear ICE isn't trained. Look how they treat people. Crystal said exactly, Kim. Shannon says, I wonder if that ICE stuff was on agenda to see how, oh, excuse me. I made it pretty far without yawning, guys. How far under federal law enforcement would go, kind of like Operation Jade Helm, just to see how far they would go and the public would respond. A million won't matter, Savannah. That's from Joseph. That's not very nice, Joseph. Katie says the New York Post reported January the 6th, 2024, that Ghislaine attended Chelsea Clinton's wedding when she literally should have been attending a civil suit against one of Epstein's accusers. Wow, Katie, thank you for that information. Crazy work. China says, I'm sorry, I have a tinfoil hat, y'all. I think the world is a stage. Voting isn't real, and it's all the matrix ran by scientists, etc., etc. Hey, Renee says, good evening, Trent and the Out Louders. Nancy Guthrie was, okay, I'm not going to read that. Hello, Renee from Kim. All right, you guys are just saying stuff about Kim and this. Oh, Renee saying that was horrible. Derek says, I was a Clinton Democrat and Obama first-term Democrat, but I don't recognize that party anymore. Obama really disappointed me. All right, Derek, see, I can respect that. I don't agree, but I can respect that. Alsheshi said that's so messed up. Joseph says the ring. Okay, I can't read Derek's stuff. Crystal said this was so sad, talking about Savannah. Okay, you guys are saying hi to each other. Trump. We're not going to read that. American hockey players example. Here we go. That's a good comment. Oh, Mars. The American hockey players example of culture supported by the MAGA administration, cruelty, disrespect, privilege. Totally agree. That was just ridiculous. Joseph says okay, we're not going to read Joseph anymore. Okay, let's give somebody some shine other than Derek. I already read a lot of Derek's comments. Kim says, whoever has kidnapped Nancy should be ashamed. Somebody truly knows of her whereabouts should come forward. I just think that is heartbreaking, man. Like, I know it's a criminal, and criminals are heartless sometimes. Excuse me, very rude of me. I'm very sorry. I stand up to a liar like you. We'll be quiet. Yeah, it's just heartbreaking, man. They're offering $1 million just to know, like how do you want to, or how can you just live the rest of your life not knowing what happened to your mom? You're just paying $1 million for closure. Why are the FBI not using satellite imagery from the sky to find this beautiful lady? If you can look at other countries during times of war, then you want to invade to find a missing person. I'm sure if they could, they would. Crystal says, oh, you mean they are back down to the price that they were when he got back into office and spiked up the prices? Really, Derek? Go look at the charts. Angie says, I think we use government resources for BS when citizens who support the government get ignored. The professor said hi to Mars. Okay, we're just going to skip Derek because we read like 20 of his comments. No shade, Derek, but just want to give everybody else a shot. The only reason Nancy is getting the attention is because her daughter was on the Today Show. I get it, but I just don't think that that's fair. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fair to the rest of the Americans. Katie says, Nancy got recognized because her daughter is a known face in the media. Yeah, I know, but it's just not fair. Very sad, the story Rem Nancy Guthrie case. The police need to use remote viewers to find her, which is not uncommon with these cases. Hey, BX Chef is in the building. Bam, 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 bam. Hey, Out Louders and Out Louder fam. What up, what up, what up? All right, Kim is saying hi to everybody. Kim, it's so nice to have you back. All right, I think Crystal and Derek are having a big conversation. This is not actually factual. They were up, yes, but they went up even higher once Trump came in. Then the tariffs spiked everything up. All right. And then Crystal also says, now he is dropping the prices back down to the prices they were when he got back into office. Kim said to Katie, I totally agree with you. Let's see what Derek is saying. Let's just pop in. You asked why the cops let them get away with that. Like, really, Trent, when you know how the left hates law enforcement and how cops are treated. Derek, man. Who hurt you, Derek? I really want to know. Kim said it was done on purpose. Mars says, oh my, rep the police being attacked. ICE would not be able to deal with NYC. Oh, you guys are talking about the police officers. Does anybody know why he was even there at the BAFTA? You're talking about Delroy. I think they were there because Sinners was nominated. Derek says, every time I listen to rap music, I hear the N-word more than 1,000 times. Let's stop the fake outrage over. Derek, man, what is wrong with you today, bro? You're comparing rap music to somebody with Tourette's syndrome yelling it out and the BBC not editing it out or not apologizing to black men? Derek, man, like, somebody needs to put their arm around you, bro. Like, gosh. Jeez. Professor says, where is this college? Not too sure which college that you're referring to, Professor. Joseph says, ICE, excuse me, that's so rude to me. ICE are the roving, okay, we're not going to read that. Mars says, I was referring to the snowball attack on the police. Yeah, sorry about that. There's so many stories, right? So when I read the comments, I'm like, I'm not too sure. Yeah, Mars says, yeah, BAFTA clearly doesn't care. Let me read another one from Derek. The left nowadays celebrates anything and anybody that's against the U.S. as long as Trump is president. I'm sure if the USA goes to battle with China, the left will root for the latter. Bro, seriously, you got to stop. The sky is the limit for this 22-year-old. What a fascinating story. I know, I'm amazed by her. Derek says, Kash Patel was caught 8 out of 6 times. Caught 8 out of the 10 from the most wanted list. ICE has found thousands of missing, and yet y'all are still calling out their names. But you can't do all that good and then unalive people like Renee and Alex and then call them like crazy people and blame it all on them and have other people in Minnesota terrorized. Like, nobody is saying immigration and terror. Nobody's saying this. This is what I don't understand with you, Derek, like, or people that have so much like backing for this administration. And I'm the one will highlight when they do something that's good, but they also do bad. And of course, people are going to talk about the bad because it's really bad. People are getting unalive. Like, I just don't know how you can't see that. And, you know, the Trump is posting the Obamas as apes. And that lady's answer to her question, like a pro, that's from Mystery. Lachese said she's not real. Facts. All Trump danger can be repaired by something with money. What's up? Sparkle says, what's up with everybody? Miss y'all. Hey, Sparkle is back in the building. Hey, Sparkle, you and Derek could be besties. Crystal says, wow, that girl is actually very correct about the neuroplasticity. I love it. Elaine is the perfect example of being great and successful at everything, a prodigy. You're full of energy, Trent. I love it. From Mystery. Great show, Trent. Thank you very much. Tara. BK Chef in the building. Sparkle said, what up? What's up, Tara, Crystal, Kim, Professor, Mars, and the Out Louders. Love this. I love this love that you're coming in with, Sparkle. I'm not sure this person's name, but she is brilliant. Would all be that, but fortunately we are not, but we should still try. Renee says, I love Elaine. She is a gift from God for sure. 22. She is amazing. I am super impressed with her humility. From Lachese. I don't love somebody who doesn't love the U.S. That's Sparkle. Uh-oh, here we go, Sparkle. Her mom is also Chinese. That would be like me saying I want to represent Jamaica. It's not like she represented another country. I knew that's what you guys were going to say, but I didn't really want to get into that. I more wanted to just talk about her greatness. But of course, everybody has a right to an opinion. Hey, Sparkle, glad you're back. From Kim. Her confidence and self-awareness is so beautiful to see in a young person from BK Chef. Wow, somebody wrote something not so nice. Okay, you guys are just saying hi to each other. I love the fact that she is loving herself and what she does. That's from Sparkle. Okay, well, Sparkle had something nice to say. She is brilliant. Would be all but unfortunate. We are not. Okay, but we already read that. Trent, thanks again for all that you do. From Renee, thank you. You are doing good. From Midland, Odessa, Texas. Shout out to Texas. We got lots of love in Texas. Okay, Mars and Crystal and everybody is saying hi to each other. Mars said something to Derek. Derek, Trump is guilty. So get ready for it from now, because the way you ride for him, you're going to be heartbroken. I knew that was going to be something funny. Frank says, so what? Trump was covering his own ASS. You would have too. Katie said, Trent, yes, you give credit and where credit is due. Thank you, Katie. Erica, family involved in Epstein things like Ukraine. Somebody said something about Don Lemon. I'm not sure your name. Don Lemon, baby father looks like Drake. Don Lemon's baby father looks like Drake. Frank said, thanks for the support. You're welcome. Crystal said, damn, another northeastern coming right to me. Is that the storm you're talking about? Crystal says, Erica sometimes does too much for the camera, but I think that's because she has always loved the camera. But let's commend her strength in all of it. Okay. Christopher says, Trump is the best president ever. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Crystal says, Trent, no yawning. I knew you were going to say something about that. Mars says, Crystal, you are kidding me. Erica is a fraud and probably behind her husband's. Jason says, all the baby boomers need to move on. Mars laughed at Crystal. Somebody said, economy is better for who? Electric bill was never over $120 every month until DT got in office. Now it's $290 a month. That's crazy. Frank says, I've been around for that long. He is the best I've ever seen. Hey, I respect that opinion. Somebody says, what's he reading from? Jason said, what's he reading from? Canada will still help California. Not too sure what that's all about. I think people forgot how bad they treated us during something politician. Mystery says that 22-year-old lady would run circles around Trump. She is so strong and forthright. Yeah, I really love her. Mars says Trump will end up in jail. I don't think he's going to end up in jail. He has too many connections for that, but we shall see. Derek says, I do critique Trump sometimes, Trent. Okay, Derek. I think I do remember you saying that sometimes, but okay. Derek is in a bad mood today, and Trent continues to hold his own. Thanks, Mystery. When Trump ends up in jail, and then Mars says it should be a world holiday. Wow. Derek and Mars are at opposite ends of the spectrum, huh? Somebody says Mars keeps saying something about Dim. Oh, I forgot. Sparkle's name is Dim. Oh my gosh. I was like, who's Dim? Oh my gosh, you're so funny, Mars. Mars is so funny. Crystal says, I wish Mars, but his followers would break him out as fast as he goes in. True. Gia, what up? I so disagree with that people throwing snowballs at the police officers. That is just so disrespectful. It's like nobody respects authority anymore. I totally agree. He's not paying attention to his page. I don't know what you're talking about. Derek says, I respect the fact that you respect our opinions, which is really dope. I appreciate that, Derek. Thank you for saying that. Okay, Audrey, that seems like a bot. Shannon says, I think the cartel would be involved with Nancy's case, or maybe our government will use it as an agenda to invade Mexico. Hey, maybe. Crystal gave Derek hard times. Shannon is right about the voting system. It's not good, especially with the digital count. Mars says, nap time tea. You have been working hard. You deserve it. So, guys, you know what? I realized, let me just take 2 seconds here. You want to know, I realized why I yawn so much in the comment section. I wake up real early in the morning, like 6:30. And right away, I start looking for news, start looking for stories. And I'm posting on Instagram from about like 8:30. most times I work out, then I'll eat, and then now I'm doing the lunchtime, like midday show that I post between 1 and 2 o'clock. So I do that. Then I'll have lunch. Then I'm now preparing for the afternoon live. And just when I sat down here, it's the first time that like I'm sitting down for the day. And like I told you, that's why I love doing this live so much. I feel like I'm just sitting down with my friends, just like talking and chilling. So I sat down and I was just like, I started yawning before I even started the show. And I was like, I think that's why, like, when I get to the comment section, I just feel like, all right, because it is the end of my day. Like, this is the end of my day. Like, I am done. Like, I have 1 or 2 little things to do, like after posting, just to make sure everything's okay. But after this, I'm like, whoo, I've been going for close to 12 hours at this point. So for you guys, it's the end of maybe the 1 hour show. But for me, it's the end of my 12 or 13 hour workday. And it's the end. And I'm just chilling with my friends. And most of the people who click in the beginning don't stay till the end of this comment section. So it's just us chilling. And it's like the end of my workday. And I realize that because when I'm done with the comments, I literally just sit back. Sometimes I'll sit down here for like 5 or 10 minutes and just be like, whew. All right, I'm done. And then, like I said, I'll go and I have to do 1 or 2 little things with the posting after whatever. I put some stuff on Instagram and I'm done for the day. I realize why I yawn. It's the end of my day. End of my day. Anyways, I digress. Just wanted to share that with y'all. Sparkle says, sup, Mars, calling me dim cracks me up. I think that's hilarious. Frank said, hey, Adu, you look good. Mars says, Crystal, I agree. They would break Trump out of jail, but I really think it will happen. I really don't think you're not going to see Donald Trump in jail. Come on, that's no way. He's the president of the United States. Frank said, I had to agree with Derek. Crystal says, I pray for some justice. Jim says, hey, Dark, I'm out here. Anyways, I don't know why. Who is this person and what are you saying? BAFTA, that, okay, I'm not going to say that. Hold on. Okay, I'm not going to read that. Mars says, y'all being woke isn't a bad thing. When you have your eyes wide open, you cannot be sheep, part of the pack, listening to a master. That's why MAGA and Trump is wake up. That's what MAGA and Trump is. Wake up. Somebody said that my beard, they said something about my beard, which I'm not going to repeat. I have heard that Elaine was an IVF selected baby. Not too sure. I think I understand what that means, but not too sure. But thanks, Katie. Virgo says, Trent, I'm curious about the art piece behind you. We love it. Thank you. So do I. I like one time my cousin was like, why don't you put it in the center? I like that it's a little like off center, but thank you. Thank you very much. I have another one here that I'm looking at, but yeah, thank you very much for that. Stay tuned. I'm not done with Eileen Gu. She's my lesson of the day. Derek says, if Trump is guilty, then roll his big to jail, but they have been trying to get him for over it. Yeah, you're not going to put Trump in jail. Northeast got hit hard with snow Sunday into Monday, and we're expecting more tonight. Not as much, but any bit of snow at this point is too much. Sorry that you were experiencing that. Renee, Mystery said, good show again tonight, Trent. Thank you very much. Somebody says, no, not dim, laugh out loud. Sparkle, I do love that painting. Thank you very, very much, Renee. Crystal is laughing. Derek says, much love, Crystal. I felt the joy. Mystery says, you have a very busy schedule, Trent. You need a bit more time for yourself. I know, but I really, really, really like what I do, and I'm in the building stages. So lovely show as usual from Sparkle. Let's go. Hey, Citizen Kane's in the building. Bam, 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 bam. Crystal's homie. Citizen says, what up, Al Louders? What up, Trent? What up, what up, what up? Crystal said, hey, Citizen. All right, Citizen came in with the super chat. Thank you very much, Citizen Kane. Really appreciate you. Mars says, when he comes out of office, he'll be in jail. I just don't see that happening. That's what they said the first time, remember? Trump will never be locked up. He has diplomatic immunity. Crystal with some emojis. Sparkle says, being woke was cool. I consider myself woke before until the broke into the movement. Citizen says, what up, Crystals? As soon as I get out of Facebook jail, I'll send you the link. And Citizen said, what's up to Kim and Mars? And Crystal says, what? You're in Facebook jail. What did you do? All right. I'm going to go over now to a YouTube comment, because we are still going to take comments from the posted section. We do not want to forget about the people who are still posting after live. So we're going to go random. I went to newest. We're going to scroll down and scroll up. First one here. I don't think he cares either. This is from Rachel. I don't think he cares either. She's talking about 50 Cent versus Diddy. 50 just did a song with M. Okay, let's get something else here. Thank you very much for that, Rachel. Somebody says, Charmaine says, his dad went to prison and that did not end his career. Plus 50 already made it. His dad went to prison. Oh, you're talking about T.I. All right, that was from Charmaine. And here, dude was yelling out for nearly the whole show, but now it's a problem. Now Tourette's is a fake excuse. You're making me hate. Okay, I'm not going to read that. All right, I think we're done. Somebody says, great show, Trent from California. San Francisco, I am dyslexic also, so I don't have a problem with I don't know what this word is, wanting to share that with the nuance with wanting to share that with the audience. And that was from Donna. Thank you very much, Donna. All right, so that was some comments on YouTube, the posting after. All right, we are going to go to a lesson of the day. Thank you guys for sticking around. I will come back to the comments and read the last comments if you guys have anything more to say. But let's go over to lesson of the day. It's Eileen Gu again. So good. It's only like 40 seconds. And then I'll close out and I'll come back to any final comments you guys have. Let's go to lesson of the day. All right. Today's lesson of the day. Take a listen to this.
Away. And
sorry. Well, let's start it over. Hey.
The reason I was late is that I just found out that my grandma passed away. And she was like she was a really big part of my life growing up, and someone I looked up to immensely. She was such a she was a fighter, and I think what's so interesting is that a lot of people just cruise through life, but she was a steamship. Like, this woman commanded life, and she grabbed it by the reins, and she made it into what she wanted it to be. And she inspired me so much. The last time I saw her before I came to the Olympics, she was very sick, so I knew that this was a possibility. I didn't promise her that I was going to win, but I did promise her that I was going to be brave, like she has been brave. And that's why I keep referring to this theme of like betting on myself and like being brave and taking risks. It actually goes back to that promise that I made my grandma. And so I'm really happy that I was able to uphold that and hopefully do her proud. But it's also a really difficult time for me now. So I really apologize for being late, but like that's what was going on. Sorry.
Oh, love that. What I love most about that is she didn't tell her grandmother she was going to win. She promised her she was going to be brave. And I love that. Y'all know I talk about that all the time. It's not about the destination. Nobody cares about that. It's all about the journey. Kobe Bryant was adamant about that. A couple of months ago, I played you guys, what's his name, that golfer there, whatever, one of the best golfers in the world right now. He's like, it's not about winning the tournament. By the time you win the tournament, you hold up the trophy, you're like, yeah. And then you're like, what's next? He's like, I like going to see my family after. He's like, I like the night before. It's the process. And I can't guarantee you that I'm going to win. And I tell you what I say to my grandmother, what my grandmother always taught me was reach for the moon. You want a Joe Rogan level contract, the biggest podcast, the biggest show, content creator, you want to reach for the moon, you'll at least fall amongst the stars. And that's what my grandmother was telling me. Don't have to promise me that you're going to be Joe Rogan level, but promise me you're going to try. Promise me you're going to be brave. Promise me that you're never going to give up. And this is coming from somebody who's 22 years old and she's already an Olympic medalist, one of the most decorated people in her game. Amazing that she was able to have this mind state at 22 years old. Most 22-year-olds would be like, what? I'm going to win. I'm going to win for you, Grandma. I'm going to bring you back a gold medal. No, I'm going to be brave because you were brave. You taught me how to be brave, and that's what I'm going to be. Just brilliant. Really like that. All right, that's it for Lesson of the Day. I'm going to go to my sign off, and then I'll come back to comments. You guys let me know what you thought about Lesson of the Day. That's my Oprah voice. Like, it sucks today, though. I'm tired. I'll be right back. All right. Hey, sorry, I want to move that. All right. Thank you very much for kicking it with me today, hanging out with me to the end of the show. I thought we had a really good show. Before I let you all go, I just want to remind you of three things. Before a lot of people have always asked us, hey, do you have PayPal? Do you have Venmo? The best way to give back to the show is through a super chat like Citizen Kane does and Shannon does while we're on here, our lives. After we post this video, feel free to give us a super thanks if you're enjoying the show. Second thing I want to remind you of is the Out Loud membership. You see the join button or the membership tab above me. Sign up and be an official Out Louder today. And the third thing is sign up to Aura with the link below, or you can use this QR code. Take your phone, camera, and if you're on your phone right now, just wait till after the show. Make sure that you sign up for Aura. It's absolutely 100% free. You do not want to be surfing online and have any of your information at risk, okay? Before I let you go, I just want to remind you of the 3 different ways to keep up with the Trend Out Loud show. First one is for people that like to listen to podcasts or listen to shows like this. Head on over to any pod site, type in Trend Out Loud, the show will pop up. Do not forget to hit the follow or subscribe button so you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And yes, we upload every weekday. And like I said, we also are uploading around 1 or 2 o'clock with a quick entertainment news midday. So make sure that you check that out, both of them, okay? Support your boy. Second way to keep up with the show is for people like me. I love video. I need video content. Head over to YouTube, type in Trend Out Loud. When you get there, 6 things I'm going to need you to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe and hit that like button. If you see a hype button, not everybody has it. If you see a hype button, please give me a hype. It's absolutely 100% free, but it tells YouTube, I like this video. You should send it to more people. So try like, subscribe, and a hype if you see it. Third thing, please try to comment below. I love all the live comments, but we need to keep this conversation going after we post the video. So even if you're here on the live and you said something in the live, please feel free. Derek, Sparkle, Mars, Crystal, Kim, all y'all. We all know Kim always comments, so shout out to Kim for that. Make sure you guys keep up the conversation in the comment section below. Now, for those of you who don't want to join in on the conversation, please don't feel pressured. But what you can comment is what country or city that you are listening from or watching from. Every night before I go to bed, I check the comment section. And my favorite thing is to see how global the show is. So make sure that you comment. All right. And the last way, the fourth thing, please try to share the channel if you're really liking this content. If you like the people, if you like the Republican, the Democrats, the Independent, if you like the conversation that's going on here, please try to share this channel. If you're liking the entertainment quick news that we're doing at lunchtime, please try to share this channel. We are trying to build a channel that's going to be around 20 or 30 years. We're just growing this platform. We're just getting started. So if you know like-minded people, please share the channel. The fifth thing, Out Loud membership. Sixth thing, super chat, super thanks. Support your boy. I appreciate you. Now, the third way to keep up with the show is we are streaming live. As the people who are on streaming right now, as you guys know, we are streaming live weekdays, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, and Kick. And again, once again, on YouTube, there are 2 different streams. TV, laptop, I would suggest you use the stream that just starts with the EP and the number. Mobile, if you're on your mobile, use the one that has the mobile emoji and the M However, for mobile viewers, if you like to comment, if you like to be engaged with the Out Louders, even if you're on mobile, you could still use the TV and laptop version. You just have to turn your phone over this way. But that is the version that is best, the most reliable. That's the one that YouTube has been doing for years. And that's the best one to comment on. All right. So just letting you know what do you call that? Whatever, the inner workings of the lives. All right. So make sure you check us out, podcast, video, and lives. Now, for those of you who want to follow me outside of the show, I'm available on all social platforms. It's also the same handle, Trent Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram. And speaking of Instagram, like I just said 5 minutes ago, make sure you follow the Trent Out Loud show on the gram. I'm super active there. And, we do morning, lunchtime, night, weekends. It's the best way to keep up to date with everything that's going on. There's so much things that I show you guys there that I can't show you on YouTube because of like content restrictions. So make sure you follow that page. I do bring some videos over here, but it's a lot more vast over there. And it's a little bit more relaxed. It's fun. I'll sometimes show up in my robe, or maybe I haven't done the bag on my head in a while. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. But it really just happens when there's a story and I just come on here like I do. So make sure you check us out. All right. Let me head on over to our comment section, and then I'll be signing out and getting ready for the State of the Union. Okay, we already read that. Where did we stop here? Trump will never go. I think this was it. No. Hold on. Crystal posting too much music. They thought I was a bot. Oh, that's why you were in Facebook jail. Then Renee says Trump will never go to jail. Said no president can go to jail. Damn Citizen Kane. Hey, Citizen. Crystal, I did find your Facebook page, though. Just can't add friends or interact until the 25th. All right, so you'll be out soon. That's tomorrow. Kim said hi to Citizen. Shannon says, I hate Trump because he made it cool for everybody to talk about something over politics. Citizen says, yo, Trent, I got another R&B album dropping this weekend. All right. I got you, bro. Send it on to me. I'll take a listen. Marcia Sparkle, how can you be woke and support MAGA and Trump? Serious question. Because I think there are three parties, Dem, Republicans, and MAGA. MAGA hijacked the Republican Party in the U.S. Citizen Kane, always bet on black. That is why I always bet on myself. Great message. Tara says, she is so very wise for her age. I know she's amazing. Renee says 22 and has more class at her pinky finger than some do in their entire body. Mike said Trump with American flags. Citizen says it's all about showing up. That is half the battle. Yo, Joe. Katie said, oh, by the way, I didn't say hi to Andrew. Hi, Andrew. Katie said, Eileen Gu, her mother allegedly selected her through IVF pregnancy, where the father's was selected for special genetic attribution. Wow, I didn't know that. Sparkle says, I support Trump because I've known Trump before running for president. The Apprentice show was great, and he was a great brand worldwide. I want an outsider because I didn't like Bush or Republicans. That's fair. Mystery says, good night, Trent, and the Out Louders and the Angels too. Good night, Mystery. Crystal says, facts. You don't have to win a medal to be a winner as long as you are brave. Take a leap and never give up. Then you are a winner of the game of life. Love that, Crystal. Thank you. Sparkle said, night Out Louders. By the way, that was really nice. Crystal puts effort into summing up my my lessons of the day. Thank you, Crystal. You may not win the battle, but you will win the WAR in life. Love that. Good. Crystal said, good night, Dim. Kim says, another great show, Trent. Thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate you. I hope everybody has a great evening. Be safe out there as always. Peace, love, and happiness, everyone. That's from Kim. Mars says, Sparkle, to be honest, a lot of us liked Trump on that show, but that's TV. It's not real. He's showing who he really is. You want to know the real Trump? Read the Epstein files. Woo. Clap back. Midlife Secret says, have a good evening. You are doing well, fella. Thank you, Midlife Secrets. Mars says, don't ride for him. Sparkle, cause he said you're fired. Sparkle says, not writing for Trump, just appreciate the fact that he's a fighter. Professor said hi to Sparkle. Sparkle says, I picked interest in Trump when I noticed the mainstream media was all against him, and that made me curious. Why? I could see that. The professor says, absolutely, she makes teachers proud. The world has another great citizen. Crystal says, shout out to Trent. You are doing a great job. Thank you for your amazing content, or younger amazing content. Sparkle said, Mars said, Sparkle, read the Epstein files, then tell me what you think about Trump. Mars is spitting some facts. Citizen says, how can you be MAGA and be a hip hop artist? That's what I'm still baffled on. Hence, cough, 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 Kid Rock and Tom McDonald. Excuse me. Citizen Kane says, hey, I got a lot of black friends. Wait, I'm black too. All right, last comment comes from Renee. Trump should be fired. The Constitution, Article 2, Section 4. All right, y'all. Great show. Whoa, we went long again. A minute and 50. Sorry, a minute and 50. An hour and 50. Wow. Great show, Out Louders. Thank you for hanging with me and keeping me up and keeping me excited. Y'all go tune into whatever network you want to tune into, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, wherever you digest. Make sure you watch the State of the Union, because you know we're going to talk about that tomorrow. I love y'all. Thank you for hanging with me. Peace. That was the longest piece. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Turn Out Loud. Peace.